Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Today we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 6, texts 20 to 23. Yatro Yatro Paramate Chittam Niruddham Yoga Sevaya Yatra Chaivatmanatmanam Pashyan Atmani Tushyati Sukham Atyantikam Yattat Buddhigrahyam Matindriyam Veti Yatra Na Chaivayam Sthitas Chalati Tattvataha Yam Labdhva Chaparam Labham Manyatena Tatah Yasmin Sthito Na Dukkhena Gurunapi Vichalyate Tam Vidyad Dukkha Samyoga Viyoga Yoga Samgnitam. So Krishna, he discussed about how to be disciplined and how one should focus the mind on Krishna, just like a lamp in a windless place does not waver. When the mind is focused on Krishna, and we discussed about how we can protect this lamp from the windy place by the protection of this glass layer of this lantern, which keeps this lamp steady. And this lantern protection is the instructions of the scriptures and the spiritual master. And now he says, Yatra uparamate chittam. In this way, when you shut down your mind from other engagements, uparamate, Prabhupada explains that uparamate means by practice of yoga, one becomes gradually detached from material concepts. Uparama means you are detaching from material concepts. Material concept of life means basically two things. It revolves around me and mine. Anything you take, these are the only two material concepts from which all other material concepts expand. It's all about me or mine. Either my body, I act as my body, I act for my body, for my senses, or my extended senses, or everything belongs to me, so they are mine. But the practice of yoga, one becomes gradually detached from material concepts. That means not me and mine, it is Krishna and Krishna's. Instead of working as me and mine, we work as I am Krishna's and everything is Krishna's. I am part and parcel of Krishna and everything we see is property of Krishna. Then naturally everything adjusts. When I work for happiness, I work to give happiness to Krishna because I am part and parcel of Krishna. My happiness is dependent on Krishna. And similarly, when we work to possess things as mine, we work to possess things for Krishna because everything is Krishna's. This is how one becomes yatra uparamate chittam. And niruddham. Niruddham means, nirodh means to give up or to stop something. So Prabhupada explains that there are two kinds of niruddham that people follow. One is to give up this material existence, niruddham, and become one with the Supreme. This is also called kaivalyam by the monist. But the devotee way of kaivalyam, Prabhupada highlights that this is also supported by Patanjali yoga system. This whole yoga system is based on the Patanjali. So, according to them, also Kaivalya is not oneness by union with the Supreme. Kaivalyam is an internal potency by serving the Supreme, by remaining individual. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also supported this in his Sikshashtakam. Chetodarpanamarjanam bhavamahadavagni nirvapanam Shreyah Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam Anandambudhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrutaswadanam Sarvatmasnapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Kaivalya, he started with Cheto Darpana Marjanam. This clearance, that Kaivalya or clearance of this matter and merging into the Supreme, which is considered highest by the monists, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this clearance refers to the clearing of impure mind. That is actually liberation. Our mind is muddy, thinking, I am this body. I am everything that is, I look is mine. So when you chant the holy names, this clearance of the impure mirror of the mind happens. Bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam. That nirvapanam or the nirvana happens, which is freedom from this material tribulations. We are in this forest of material existence. The forest fire is happening all the time. And that nirvana means to become relieved from that forest fire happens when you take to the chanting of the holy names. And you continue to remain individual and serve the Supreme in your Swarupa. Swarupena vyavastitihi. Muktihi hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavastitihi. So I'm actually going through the purport. Prabhupada explains all this. Our Swarupa is not merging into the oneness, thereby that niruddham happens, but rather we become situated in our constitutional position, Swarupena Vyavastitihi, which is Jivera Swarupahai Krishnera Nityadas. So there was this man who had a lot of miseries. And he heard that in his city there was a saintly man who can give him benedictions and thereby solve his problems. So this man went and pleased this saintly person by his service. And the saintly person noticed him and asked him why he came, what he wants. And then this man took out his laundry list of problems and wanted solution. And the saintly man was trying to preach to him about Krishna consciousness, the futility of material existence. But this man was not ready to receive spiritual knowledge. So, just like Chitraketu, he just wanted a son. He didn't want to hear anything that Angira was instructing him spiritually. So, like this man also is very insistent. No, I want to get over my material problems. I don't want the spiritual solution. So, this saintly person, he gave him, he asked him, how many problems you have? He said, I have 100 problems. Okay, he said, I'm giving you 100 boons. So what is that? 100 times you can desire anything in this world and get whatever you want, your problem will be satisfied on this material world. And then this man became very happy. He started to execute his boons and started to become free from these apparent problems. Firstly, he was getting old. He had married children and few about to be married children. Still, he wanted to become young. So he used that first boon out of 100. He wanted to become young. I want to become young. So he became young instantly. But because of that, young people, they don't like the physical appearance of the old people. So he started to hate his old wife, and he started to develop ill feelings to the children because they want that, this. He didn't want any obligations. And that fatherly feeling is gone. He wanted to associate with other women and give up his wife and family. And then he did that. And as a result, his health started dwindling. And he wanted to be very healthy. He used that boon. He became very healthy. But now, because he is now healthy, he did not have, he lost the motivation to eat healthy food. He got bored of it. And because he is healthy, very healthy, he didn't mind. He thought he's like Hiranyakashipu, would do anything. So he started to eating all kinds of crazy things. And then that landed him in more problems. And then he desired a lot of wealth. He used the boon, he got it. And then he became very lazy as a result and lost all motivation to work, isn't it? The money is there coming in. What is the motivation to work? And if money comes freely, you don't value it, you won't work hard, it'll spoil you if you don't have the right maturity and knowledge. So, in this way, he kept on using all these 100 boons. But at the end of it, he was in much more distress than he was at the beginning. And then this saintly person appeared before this man again, just like Angira came to Chitraketu. After Chitraketu's, the baby boy died and was in lamentation. So this man was in severe lamentation. And this man admitted that his problems became much more now than ever. And the saintly man saw that he is now ready to be preached, the message of Krishna consciousness. And the saintly person gave an example of a burning house. So the house inside is gradually burning, and externally it has several windows open, or there are several windows in the house. And the person outside the house, he is seeing some disturbing smoke coming out of one window. When the fire starts in the kitchen, for example, there is a window, and out of the window there is smoke. So his one thought is, let me close this. The owner of the house is outside, and let me close this window. Oh, now it looks good. There's no more smoke. But the smoke comes out of another window. He goes and closes another window. From outside, it looks very good. And then the smoke obviously penetrates and comes out of another window. He goes and closes the other window. And now he closes all the windows. And the house is shining from outside, appearing very pleasing. But internally, it is boiling. It is burning. More burning than before how it started. So, this is what happens. When we try to solve a material problem with another material solution, we may be successful in applying a patch, like a band aid. But internally, that disease keeps on increasing much more vigorously. And it spreads. And it is spreading. It is growing. And every time we find it, we try to patch. This is the modern way. This is the materialistic way. The moment you try to see a problem, you try to find the solution, like a band aid. Every time a disease comes, oh, just run around, the scientists run around to figure out the vaccine, to figure out the solution. And after spending a lot of time and money, they figure out, yes, now we have found. But is that an end? The smoke will come out of the other window through other form, through other tragedy. It'll hit. Again, we try to find band-aid. So this material life means applying band-aids, applying patches. People try to look young when they grow old, and people who are diseased, they try to, somehow find a medicine, apply some pills to overcome. But the root cause of birth, death, old age, and disease, it's all growing. As the day progresses, these problems keep growing. So the impersonalist solution to this burning house, you know what it is? It is to destroy the house. There is no problem. Especially Buddhist theory, the voidists. They're called Shunyavadi. When you die, everything is settled. You don't exist and there is no misery. Now there is misery because you exist as a combination of these elements. And now on all these elements go back to their origin. And you don't exist and there is no problem. Voidism. So this is their solution. Or impersonalist. Now you are having this problem because just like for example, a patient is always on the bed, bedridden. Everything happens for him on the bed. Eating is on the bed. Of course, he is sleeping. He cannot sleep properly. There are the back burns because the sleep burns. He cannot sit properly. He cannot lie down properly, eat properly. The even the evacuation is on the bed. So horrible. And somebody comes and says, the impersonalist viewpoint is, see, as long as we have this material body, it's problematic. Or any body, they cannot perceive a spiritual body. The moment they think of a body, oh, it's problematic. So let's get rid of the body. We are impersonal. The spirit is impersonal. And when it goes and merges into that supreme spirit, we become free from all problems. This is also burning the house. Oh, there is a fire in the house, let's burn it. There's problem with this body, let's get rid of the body. So become one, merged. So there are these two kinds of people, Nirvisesha and Shunyavadi. Nirvisesha means people who believe we'll merge into impersonal Brahman. We don't have a form ultimately. We don't have individuality. And Shunyavadi means we become void. No spirit also. So Prabhupada's mantra we chant every day. Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. He is delivering these kinds of people, the Nirvisesha Shunyavadis, and those in the Paschatya Desha who have no idea about spiritualities. So he's delivering all these kinds of nonsense in the name of spirituality. So the devotee's way of addressing the problem is you cure the fire, you stop the fire, extinguish the fire, which is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam. This process of Krishna consciousness, it extinguishes this bhavamaha davagni, this blazing fire of material existence. It makes us open to that, eyes open to that this there is blazing fire happening. The spiritual master opens our eyes. See these problems of life. Don't become dumb. just like a materialist who tries to close his eyes, as they say. So many of my colleagues, they say, not many, but some of them, hey, don't worry about all this birth, death, old age, disease. Life goes on. You have to accept things and enjoy. Don't worry about problems. Why? Ignorance is bliss, they say. Ignorance is bliss. Forget the problems, enjoy, eat, drink. This is illusion. Just like Prabhupada gives this example, this rabbit. This rabbit, when it finds danger, it just closes his eyes and acts as if there's no danger. Some animal is coming, something is about to happen. Closes his eyes, not do anything about it. Danger. Or put your head in the sand, my professor used to say. So he was teaching operating systems in our college. So there are this problem called deadlocks. In the operating system, there is a classical problem. Deadlock, one process is waiting for the other process. The other process is also waiting for this process, and both are not running. So it's a deadlock. So he said he told many solutions to that kind of problem, and he said there is a another final solution to that. What is that? Put your head in the sand and act as if there is no problem. That means you just reboot the computer. All problems gone. So, but that is actually the moment you restart again after some time it will come up, isn't it? So ignorance is bliss is not really bliss. It is illusory bliss. So a devotee opens his eyes to the actual problems and he eradicates it by the chanting of the holy name. That is akin to the fire extinguisher coming, the firefighters coming and fighting the fire and taking care of it. This is the right way of solving the problem. So when we sing this song, Samsara Davana Lalidha Loka, every day in the morning for Mangalarati, it describes how this forest of material existence, which is on fire, is can be solved only by the cloud. A normal house can be put to can be extinguished. The fire can be extinguished by the firefighting, the fire team. But this huge forest, the vegetation is burning, huge acres are burning. No ordinary firefighting ability can fight. It needs divine intervention. It needs cloud. The clouds of rain has to fall down. So Prabhupada gives a beautiful analogy. This cloud is actually water from the ocean. When the sun evaporates, it becomes the cloud. And the cloud gives rain again. It takes water from the ocean and it gives rain to the land. So the spiritual master is compared to the cloud. Ghana ghanatvam. Ghana means cloud. That's why Ghanashyam Krishna is said, whose complexion is as wonderful as a beautiful cloud. So this Ghana Ghanatvam, he accepts that quality of a cloud which desires this mercy from Krishna. Tranaya Karunya Ghana Ghanatvam. To deliver the people of this world from this material existence, he gathers this mercy cloud from the ocean of mercy, Krishna. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. So and then he delivers. Praptasya Kalyana Gunarnavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanara Vindam. He has attained that power, praptasya, by the benediction from the disciplic succession. Kalyana gunarnavasya. He is the ocean of wonderful transcendental qualities. So, to such a spiritual master, I take shelter of. So, this is the meaning of these words. Yatra uparamate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya. So, all of this happens perfectly in Krishna consciousness, not in any other spiritual paths. So, it's a very technical purport. You can read it, and we'll discuss the remaining aspects of this verse tomorrow. We'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments? Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.